welcome. You're watching the Newshour agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today, Manish Sisodia was sent to 7 days of ED custody. This after the agency said in court that it needed to question him further and even confront him with other persons connected to the liquor policy case. In addition to that, the agency also said that it needs to follow the money trail and trace the proceeds of crime, which add up to at least 292 crore rupees. Through all of this, the Aam Aadmi Party continued to eulogize Manish Sisodia, comparing him to everyone from Maharana Pratap to Shahid Bhagat Singh to Lord Ram himself. But all of that was to not much avail, because in its order that came late today evening, the Rouse Avenue Court has actually justified the arrest of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. In its order, here's what the court said. It said that there is nothing to suggest that the accused's arrest, that is, the arrest of Manish Sisodia, is in violation of the PMLA or illegal in any fashion. The court also says that it is prima facie convinced that the accused's arrest is justified because power to seek remand is essentially a part of the ED's power to conduct investigation. Since the Enforcement Directorate has submitted that the accused has been totally evasive and non-cooperative during interrogation, hence the court has granted them 7 days custody of Mr. Sisodia for further interrogation. In light of all this, can the Aam Aadmi Party still say that the arrest of Mr. Sisodia is vendetta and agenda-driven? Is the eulogizing of Mr. Sisodia as Lord Ram an effort to try and now deify him and sidestep the facts of the case? And given the court's judgment today, should we then presume that the ED has actually managed to put together a convincing enough case against the former Delhi Deputy CM?
You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, Namit Saxena, advocate on record in the Supreme Court, political analyst Sanjeev Kaushik will be joining us in just a bit. Krishank, spokesperson of the BRS, is joining us. Vivek Srivastava, political analyst. Do you want to ask the first question? And actually, let me quote to you from what the Rouse Avenue Court has said. Point number 16, where the court says, in view of the background given by the Enforcement Directorate, the court is prima facie convinced that the arrest of the accused in this case is justified and the ED has powers to seek custody of the accused for his further examination and interrogation. What happens now to the argument that this is vendetta? Here is the court saying that the arrest is justified.
Okay. I'm not trying to support Manish Sisodia, neither do I support corruption. However, I would like to speak very generally. Number one, the government and the investigating agencies are very, very selective. That is my first charge. When it is Narda, Sharda, when it is their own people.
Sir, with the greatest of respect, please let's talk about specifics at some time.
Mr. Adani is being protected.
We have been going on and on over the last several years talking about generalities.
Yes,
I am not talking about investigating agencies or the BJP. I am quoting to you simply from a court order.
Right.
For your benefit, I will quote further from this order, which also says it has been specifically submitted in the ED's application that custodial interrogation of the accused is a must, since during the course of his examination, he has been totally evasive and non-cooperative, and he did not disclose the true facts and rather came up with answers that have been found entirely in contrast and contradiction to oral and documentary evidence collected so far. This is what the court is saying in its order. So please let's talk about specifics of what the court has said.
I read it. Absolutely, I'll be specific. I read it. Please try to understand one thing, Padmaja. In our country, the court responds to what information it is fed by the investigating agencies. Please try to understand. And again, you will say I'm going into generals, but whether it was the Jamia case, or it was the JNU case, or it was the Delhi riots case, whatever were the charge sheets that were filed, many of them were later on quashed by the government and many people were let go who were not guilty. That's the first part. and we all know about it. Now in this particular case also, it's an economic crime. That is the first part. It is, I mean, it all comes under the view of a financial fraud, as the BJP and the rival parties are trying to call it.
Actually, it's money laundering because PMLA has been applied.
Please try to understand.
Yes.
It is not the kind of
it's money laundering, sir. PMLA.
No, I'm not saying that. But all I'm trying to tell, in money laundering, in a financial fraud case, I mean, the money trail is very clear. It is very visible. It does not need days and days and days of remand. The first remand was going to be over. Okay. Mischievously, the ED stepped into picture.
Okay, so because this is a legal point that you have raised, let me get in Namit Saxena on this. Yeah. Good point. Namit Saxena, as an advocate on record, and this has been said again and again, it's all very well, and this, by the way, was also argued by Mr. Sisodia's counsel today, that you have gone on over the last 2 weeks, you have arrested Mr. Sisodia, you have confronted him, you have questioned him, but not one paisa has been recovered. Where is the money trail? And in order to avoid answering this question, the ED has conveniently named Vijay Nair as a representative of Manish Sisodia. Where is the money?
See, for the offense of money laundering, getting the trail of money takes some time. See, these are intelligent crimes where, money, where you launder money. And there are 3 stages in money laundering, and 2 stages are layering and integration. So the investigating agency is bound to unfold the layers which are there, and extraordinary circumstances require extraordinary measures. That is why I say that custody of this particular gentleman, this particular accused, is necessary. That was the court has also sounded. Because in such a case where you have to unfold the layers and to reach a conclusion that where money was integrated, in what particular hands money was collected and how money was floated, it is required that you unfold these layers. And that is where the court also says that custodial interrogation is required because he's evasive, because see, we have to understand this. See, these are very intelligent crimes. And when there are evidences, when there are allegations of destroying the evidence to, take out the money trail, to take out, by phones, etc., removing the trail as to what has actually happened. So there, it is there where you
happened for a long time, Padmaja.
Even more important.
And what are they going to do now? Start beating him up?
No, actually, they have laid out what they are going to do. They have got officers, former officers, excise officers who are going to be confronted with Mr. Sisodia. There is a possibility that he is going to be confronted with Ms. K. Kavitha. He is going to be confronted with other people who are also currently under arrest. And just by the way, since you are talking about him being beaten up, do you know that the court in its order has said that he is going to be questioned, 1, under CCTV surveillance, 2, every day he is going to talk for 15 minutes to his counsel, 3, he is going to be allowed to meet his family. So for anyone who thinks that he is going to be beaten, he can confide in his counsel and his family, and his questioning will take place under the gaze of a CCTV camera. Mr. Srivastav.
It's an harassment technique. All I can see is it is just harassment. It's a financial trail that the investigating agency needs to come out with. You can keep on make the man under remand for the next 30 days. And if you are saying that he's evasive, he will still be evasive.
Well, so, then either you are saying that the court in Delhi is complicit in this harassment, or that it doesn't know the law well enough to discern between harassment and the letter of the law. Because the court has seemed to think at this point that following the letter of the law, this is perfectly justified for the time being. But who's to know, Sanju Verma, that tomorrow this may not fall through. By then, Mr. Sisodia will have already been in jail for close to a month. He spent his Holi in jail. He will stay almost a month in jail.
Okay. Thank you, Padmaja. I heard Vivek Srivastav, and I just have this to say, because I think the lawyer on your panel has put forth the legal angle to this entire issue. I have a couple of things here which I want to put forth to your audience. Everybody who says that, Manish Sisodia is being victimized and there is witch hunting and vendetta and crying wolf, BJP is misusing central agencies, I want them to know that there was a historic judgment. Of course, that judgment has been petitioned against. But on the 27th of July 2022, the Supreme Court said 2 very important things while giving a judgment and dismissing 241 petitions from leaders across the spectrum who said that the PMLA should be disbanded. It said that under the PMLA Act, Section 24, there is the reverse burden of proof. Normally, in any case, you are innocent till proven guilty. But when the PMLA case comes in case of an accused, you are guilty till proven innocent. So under section 24 of the PMLA Act of 2002, Manish Sisodia has to prove he is not guilty, he is innocent. The CBI or the ED do not have to prove much as per what the Act states currently. And there is section 45 of the PMLA Act of 2002 which says that when an accused is arrested by the authorities, he or she immediately becomes subject to an offense which is cognizable and non-bailable. These are two very important provisions. So for you to sit here and lecture the BJP saying ED and CBI are being misused, I want to ask just one very simple question to Vivek Srivastava. I won't be very verbose. Prime Minister Modi was hounded for 20 long years for the Gujarat rights case. He was given a clean chit first by the Sessions Court in Gujarat, then by the Magistrates Court, Ahmedabad High Court. He was given a clean chit by the Supreme Court on 3 different occasions. And still people continue to hound him till this day, despite on the 25th of June 2022, the Supreme Court clearly saying there was no criminal conspiracy by Narendra Modi. Do you still not hound him? Do you not still hound Amit Shah?
Okay, quickly respond to that, Vivek Srivastava. Then I want to bring in Mr. Kaushik. Yes.
Sanju Verma, the nature of crimes was very different. There was a program, a mass murder, which could have been state-sponsored, and that is when investigations were done. And this is a different case. This is a money laundering case.
Supreme Court.
This is a money laundering case. They are different things.
Bona fides.
This, as the lawyer on the panel just said, if it is a crime.
से कि अभी उनका इन्वेस्टिगेशन और इंटेरोगेशन बिल्कुल जायज है. 6 पॉइंट्स लिस्ट किए गए हैं. Let me list out those points to you. 1. Specific evidence has come on record during investigation that shows the accused got incorporated certain material clauses in excise policy which weren't even discussed in the GOM meeting. Group of ministers की meeting में कुछ discuss नहीं हुआ, excise policy में आ गया. Clauses were allegedly inserted by him for benefit of South Liquor Lobby. Specifically alleged that also found disclosed by approver that huge amount of advance kickbacks of 100 crores paid by South Lobby. Out of the total amount, an amount of around 20 to 30 crores was transferred through co-accused Abhishek Boinpalli. It has been revealed that accused played vital role in creating a cartel which was formed between liquor manufacturers, wholesalers and retailers, and finally that the accused stands accused of destruction of digital evidence out of 14 mobile phones used by him during the relevant period of 1 year. तो 6 ऐसे बिंदु यहाँ पर ऑर्डर में हैं जहां पर कोर्ट कह रहा है कि ठीक है, अभी हमें लग रहा है कि इनका कस्टडी और इंटेरोगेशन जायज है. मिस्टर कौशिक, हाउ कैन यू स्टिल कॉल इट वेंडेटा? ये कोर्ट कह रहा है.
पद्मजा, देश के लोगों को ये जानना जरूरी है कि सीबीआई और ईडी की कार्यप्रणाली क्या है. सीबीआई वो एजेंसी है जो दिल्ली पुलिस के अधीन या उसी एक्ट के तहत उसका निर्माण किया गया. वो 100% वो केंद्र सरकार के अधीन आती है. उसको क्या क्या कहा गया सारे लोग जानते हैं. रही बात ईडी की, तो जिस पीएमएलए की बात हो रही है उसके अगेंस्ट में आपको जानकारी होगी ही कि 250 से ज़्यादा याचिकाएं कोर्ट में लगी हुई है, केवल इस वजह से कि उसको जो अधिकार दी गई है वो अधिकार कुछ इतने खतरनाक है कि सबसे पहले वो आपको गिरफ्तार करेगी, पकड़ेगी, ले जाएगी, उसको ये अधिकार.
Why you dancing around the subject? ठीक है, ईडी सीबीआई सरकार के अधीन है.
उसी पे आ रहा हूँ.
कोर्ट तो सरकार के अधीन नहीं है.
मैं उसी पे आ रहा हूँ. मैं उसी पे आ रहा हूँ. और दूसरी बात जिसके बारे में आपने 6 बिंदुओं के बारे में बात की, कोई भी नीति जब बनाई जाती है तो किसी एक व्यक्ति के हाथ में वो नीतियां नहीं होती है, अधिकारी बनाता है. और दिल्ली के बारे में तो खास करके ये कहा जाता है कि बगैर एलजी साहब के साइन किए हुए किसी तरह की कोई नीतियां बनाई नहीं जा सकती.
नहीं
तो
सर,
क्या एलजी साहब ने भी बगैर पढ़े
इसमें भी ऑर्डर में लिखा गया है
साइन किया, क्या उनको जानकारी नहीं थी?
क्योंकि मनीष जी एक्साइज मिनिस्टर थे, पूरी जो नीति बननी थी वो बननी तो ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स में थी, पर वो मीटिंग ही नहीं हुई और एक नोट दे दिया गया उनके सेक्रेटरी को, एक्साइज सेक्रेटरी को, और उनको बोला गया ये है पॉलिसी, जाओ. ये पॉलिसी है जो कि जीओएम में डिस्कस नहीं हुई. तो उन्होंने क्लॉजेस इंसर्ट कराए एट द बहेस्ट ऑफ द साउथ ग्रुप. ये कोर्ट कह रहा है.
May I respond to him, please?
मूल बात यह है कि सीबीआई के गिरफ्त में एक आदमी है जो आदमी बताता है कि कुछ रकम 2000, 4000, 5000 रकम किसी और को दिए गए, उसका एविडेंस उसके पास भी नहीं है, ये रकम भी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा। ईडी का काम क्या है?
अभी तो खैर वो ईडी की गिरफ्त में है, बट जस्ट अ सेकंड, आपने जो एक लीगल पॉइंट रेज किया है, लेट मी टेक दैट अगेन टू नमित सक्सेना. Namit Saxena, is it possible that these are pieces of evidence that have so far been produced by the ED? Now, the court is only judging the case on the basis of what it has seen. Tomorrow, it can find that all of this evidence is also trumped up. Has there not been cases where either the court at a later date has said this evidence is not good enough, or even at the level of trial, the court has said कि आपने evidence लाया है मेरे सामने ED, but this is bakwas evidence, case kharij. Today, if the court wanted, they could have said that Mr. Sisodia's case is totally trumped up by ED, right?
Yes. See, at this stage, the court is only required to see whether the requirement, the criteria for taking somebody into custody are fulfilled or not. That is Section 19 of the PMLA Act. So the court has said that the ingredients of Section 19 are fulfilled. So at this stage, I can't say that the custody or the remand is illegal. And the court cannot actually look into evidence. See, this is the evidence collecting stage. The
so
court
again to stop you there, at this point, the court is only talking about procedure. To say कि हाँ बहुत ज़्यादा evidence है, ये guilt का संकेत है, that would also be premature and wrong.
Yes, because the investigating agency is still collecting evidence. They are saying that we want to collect further evidence, we want to extract something from him. That is why we need to do custodial interrogation of this particular accused. So please grant that. This is what the ED has said. The court cannot parachute itself to reach a stage of evidence or to synchronize evidence at this stage at all. That would have been illegal. So the court at this stage has only said that that the ED has taken into custody. The ED has produced him before me. I say that at this stage, prima facie, there is sufficient material against him that this particular gentleman be sent to custodial interrogation for a period of 7 days with ED.
Okay, so Sanju Verma, it's too early to be celebrating because right now the court has only validated the procedure that the ED has undertaken. Tomorrow they can well look at the evidence given by ED and say, sorry, this doesn't add up. Mr. Sisodia is completely innocent. Sanju Verma. That is still a very important possibility.
Let me be very forthright with you. The BJP is not celebrating because Manish Sisodia is behind bars, nor is the BJP going to start shedding tears, crocodile or otherwise, if he continues to be behind bars. I know this sounds very cliched, but I've said this in the past and I'll say for whatever it is worth, that the law of the land is taking its course. If Manish Sisodia is indeed innocent, and the ED and the CBI cannot prove a watertight case against him, then he will go scot-free. Why the brouhaha, why the halablu, why the victim card which is being taken out after every few hours saying कि अरे BJP हमसे डर गई, नरेंद्र मोदी अरविंद केजरीवाल से डर गए, आप 1.5 स्टेट में राज कर रहे हो और बीजेपी जो 16 स्टेट्स में जो सत्ता में है आपसे डर गई. बोलने से पहले थोड़ा सोच समझ कर बोलिए. And I will just quickly end by saying one very important thing. I believe, and I'm sure the lawyer on your panel will corroborate this, in any case, in any part of the world, the witness is paramount. And I hope people do not forget that under section 306 of the CRPC, the ED actually took consent from the Delhi High Court to make Dinesh Arora an approver, and Dinesh Arora has clearly named Manish Sisodia, and the other person who has not only named Manish Sisodia, but also Arvind Kejriwal is Sukesh Chandrasekhar. And before people say, Sukesh Chandrasekhar is the con man. So let me tell you that what the Supreme Court said in its historic verdict on 27 July.
No, but since you're talking about the supremacy of the witness, hold on a second. I'm glad you brought up the witness, because the other very important name, hold on a second, which was taken was of Arun Ramchandra Pillai, who also spoke of this South group and the connect with Manish Sisodia. Today, Mr. Pillai has put in a petition before the court saying, I want to withdraw my statement because it was taken under duress and coercion. Tomorrow, it could happen to other witnesses also. It could happen to approvers also.
Let me come to that, Padmaja. Let me come to that. Let me finish what I was saying.
Absolutely.
Dinesh Arora's statement, please let me finish. Dinesh Arora's statement clearly indicting Manish Sisodia and saying that a surreptitious cabinet note, was not even passed. Suddenly he saw that, the excise policy found its way into a GOM note with various lacunae and loopholes. Dinesh Arora has not changed his statement, and mind you, Sukesh Chandrasekhar today has also named Manish Sisodia and said कि अभी तो अरविंद केजरीवाल की भी बारी है, and the court has said that under the Indian Evidence Act of 1872, even if you yourself are an accused in a PMLA case, if you give your statement to a sub-inspector or senior level police official, that holds true.
Fair enough. But again, I'm saying to you that all of this evidence and all of these statements are being given by people, one of whom today has said it was taken under duress. And having said that, here is where I want to bring you in, Krishank, because while Mr. Pillai may have said that I was coerced, there is another person who is stated as witness who gave a statement on the 23rd of February 2023. We are talking about Buchi Babu, who is said to be the link between Ms. K. Kavitha and Manish Sisodia. What has he said in his statement? I quote, "There was a political understanding between Ms. K. Kavitha and the CM and Deputy CM of Delhi. In the process, K. Kavitha has also met Mr. Vijay Nair on the 19th and 20th of March 2021. Vijay Nair was trying to impress K. Kavitha with what he could do in the policy. He was acting on behalf of the Delhi CM and Manish Sisodia. He was working on the excise policy on their behalf." So here is somebody who acted as a link, and he has given a statement saying that in return of 100 crores, the policy was manipulated by the CM and Deputy CM.
Well, Padmaja, coming straight to the point, one, these are all extrajudicial confessions and not judicial confessions in front of a magistrate. These are all in front of the officials or the officers of the ED. So definitely the merits of the case will be when they are in front of the court, because as you've mentioned that there are two witnesses, one who has retracted today and one more. The BJP spokesperson was talking about Dinesh Arora, approver. Let me remind you, Ram Narayan versus State of Bihar, 306 CRPC clearly mentions that approver's evidence is not a reliable evidence. It is just
in PMLA,
for corroboration.
it is.
But one
in
second.
PMLA case, it is. Don't lie.
Padmaja, I've been waiting a lot of time, Padmaja.
Okay, one at a time, please, because he's just got a chance to speak.
Please. Why wasn't he arrested? This is why we are claiming vendetta. When you want to arrest all of
showing pictures here. I'm glad we're all showing pictures here. You're talking about how confessions or statements are being made in an extrajudicial fashion. I want to show you a picture which was a part of the remand note today made by the Enforcement Directorate. This is a chat between Vijay Nair and Mr. Buchi Babu. And it is of a signal message that he got from Mr. Nair 2 days before the excise policy was made public. Mr. Buchi Babu had already been given the excise policy on Signal messaging app. How did this happen?
I'm not the spokesperson. I'm not the spokesperson of Buchi Babu. I'm not the spokesperson of Buchi Babu.
But Mr. Buchi Babu is an advisor slash CA to Ms. K. Kavitha, isn't he?
Buchi Babu was K. Kavitha's chartered
if he is an employee, if he is a chartered accountant, no, 1 second. If he is a chartered accountant, but that doesn't mean, that how is it linked to the policy? How is it linked to the policy? I don't understand.
How is he linked to the policy? Because he's the one who was the conduit. The simple question is, sir, that if there is a policy which is being formulated, even before the state gets to see it, why is this gentleman, as a chartered accountant, why would he want to see the Delhi liquor policy?
He should answer it to the court. He should answer it to the court and to the ED. As I'm telling you,
why don't you answer?
We are a spokesperson. I'm not Buchi Babu's spokesperson, Sanju Verma.
I'm asking you.
You are the spokesperson of ED.
Okay, let me
you are
ask
the
you this.
spokesperson of ED. I am not the spokesperson.
Okay, let me ask you this out of curiosity. Was Mr. Buchi Babu the chartered accountant slash advisor to Ms. Kavitha? Yes or no? Or did that relationship not exist?
He was not the advisor or any kind of. We don't have any business relationships with any one of them.
Was he the chartered accountant to Ms. Kavitha?
Arun Pillai, or that's what I'm telling you. There is no relationship with any of these people. With any of these people.
Okay. All right.
Acha, meeting. Madam, Padmaja ji, if meeting is a problem, see Arun Pillai with Tejasvi Surya, why did he meet? Was there a business relationship? If meeting or pictures are a problem, what is this then?
In Indo spirits, yes or no?
What is this, Padmaja ji?
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
Fair enough. You put the evidence. You are welcome to hold up that picture again. Like we said, we're just putting the facts out there. All the people concerned are also putting their side of the story, their facts. The BRS saying very categorically that Bucci Babu is in the custody of the ED. He has to explain himself. There is no working relationship or ever was between him, the party or K. Kavitha. However, these communications have happened and they need to be investigated, which is why Mr. Sisodia, for now, is going to be in the ED's custody. Tomorrow is the questioning of Ms. K. Kavitha as well. We'll keep a very close eye for the time being, though. Thank you very much, all gentlemen, and Sanju Verma for joining me.